Hello there, and welcome to Sleep Science 360. I'm so glad you found your way here. Maybe you've had a long day, or maybe your thoughts are still orbiting a little too fast. Either way, tonight, you can let them slow. There's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be. Just rest. Let your body grow light, your breath quiet, and your mind drift like starlight at the edge of the universe. Because tonight, we're not chasing stars or galaxies. We're following something deeper, the story of how time itself ends. Long after the last stars burn out, after the galaxies fade into silence, there will come an age when even motion forgets to move. Physicists call it the heat death of the universe. A time when everything is the same quiet temperature and nothing new can ever happen again. But it isn't a tragedy. It's a lullaby written by entropy itself, the slow breathing of the cosmos as it drifts toward eternal rest. Light that left its star before you were born, someone once said, will one day fade into the dark, and the dark will remember it kindly. So tonight we'll travel together through that gentle darkness. We'll watch the stars cool the black hole's sigh, and the last whispers of time dissolve into stillness. You can rest now. The universe is getting sleepy too. Somewhere in the oldest spiral arms of the cosmos, the final stars are quietly burning through their last reserves of hydrogen. Their glow is soft now, a faint orange pulse like an ember caught in an infinite breeze. They no longer rage. They simply endure. For almost 14 billion years, light has been the storyteller of existence. It crossed the void at 300,000 kilometers per second, tracing galaxies into form, painting the faces of worlds, carrying every dawn that ever rose, every gaze that ever looked upward. But time, patient and indifferent, outlives even the brightest flame. You can rest now. The first stars to vanish were the massive blue ones, those brilliant giants that lived fast and died young. They spent their fuel in a few million years, ending in supernovae so powerful that galaxies still echo with their ghosts. Then came the turn of the yellow suns, stars like ours, that shine for 10 billion years before their light dims and their hearts collapse inward. They become white dwarfs, carbon and oxygen, packed tighter than imagination allows, cooling, slowing, sighing their heat into darkness. Somewhere, light continues to travel. In time, unimaginable stretches of time, those white dwarfs will fade to black. A black dwarf, a star that has forgotten how to shine. The universe will grow quiet around them, filled only with the whisper of cooling radiation. Galaxies will drift apart like tired dancers losing their rhythm. No new stars will be born. The nurseries of gas and dust will have frozen. The Milky Way itself will long be gone, merged, stretched, and dissolved into silence. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. There is no rush in this ending. Entropy moves like a glacier through eternity. A single second, a single spark of heat stretches across millions of years. From a cosmic distance, the fading of light looks like the slow closing of an eye. Scientists once estimated that after 10 trillion years, no visible light will remain. Only faint infrared embers will glow, their wavelengths stretched longer and longer by the expansion of the universe. Eventually, even those will fade below detection. Darkness will no longer mean absence. It will mean completion. It's okay to drift. Imagine standing beneath that ancient sky. No stars, no constellations, only the deep velvet background of infinity. A faint red glow lingers at the edge of perception, the color of cooling iron, the whisper of what once was warmth. Each photon wandering endlessly, carrying the story of a universe that once burned bright. Each a traveler without destination, a memory that never quite forgets. The background radiation, the leftover hum from the Big Bang, will by then be stretched to wavelengths longer than mountains. Its temperature, once 2.7 kelvins, will drop to 1, then to a fraction of a fraction. The universe will cool toward absolute zero, but never reach it. Nothing ever truly stops. It only slows. You can rest now. In this slow breathing of time, each moment is a million ages long. Stars die, galaxies unravel. The web of gravity thins like silk. All motion becomes memory. Even atoms begin to forget what they were. A physicist once wrote, "The universe will not end with a bang, but with a fade. It is the gentlest apocalypse imaginable. A cosmic lullaby, written in invisible ink. And perhaps that is mercy for creation to end, not in fire, but in peace. The bright becomes dim, the dim becomes warm shadow, and the shadow dissolves into stillness. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. At first, black holes remain. They dominate the late universe, massive, patient, unblinking. Their gravity devours stars and even other black holes. But even they cannot last forever. Through a quiet process called Hawking radiation, they leak energy into the void, fading molecule by molecule, until nothing remains but faint heat. A black hole the size of our sun will take 10 to the power of 67 years to evaporate. 1. The mass of a galaxy will need 10 to the power of 100. Beyond that, there is only silence. It's okay to drift. By then, time itself has lost its meaning. There will be no observers, no orbits, no clocks to measure the distance between before and after. All change will have ceased, and without change, there can be no time. This is the age physicists call the degenerate era. White dwarfs have cooled to invisibility. Neutron stars have faded. Black holes are evaporating. Only the faintest particles remain: neutrinos, photons, and the endless field of empty space. But even emptiness has texture. Quantum fields ripple, producing spontaneous flashes of virtual particles that appear and vanish in trillionths of a second. These are the dreams of matter, the tiny reminders that the void is never truly asleep. You can rest now. In those quiet eons, the universe becomes an ocean of calm. Every disturbance smoothed, every difference dissolved. The laws of thermodynamics complete their story. Entropy reaches its highest possible state. Perfect uniformity, perfect stillness. No place is hotter than another. No atom moves faster or slower. There are no contrasts left to create energy, no spark left to ignite motion. Time, which is born from change, has nothing left to count. It exhales one final infinite breath and falls asleep. Light still travels, but not in the way it once did. It doesn't illuminate. It simply exists, gentle, patient, a quiet hum of remembrance. Each photon is an echo, a lullaby, older than galaxies. Somewhere between what was and what will never be the last warmth leaves the final black dwarf. Its temperature matches the surrounding space, less than a billionth of a degree above zero. No glow, no spark, only calm. It cools beyond sight, beyond sound, beyond meaning. And still, in that perfect quiet, the universe remains beautiful. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Perhaps that is the lesson hidden in all this, that even endings can be serene, that the fading of light is not loss, but balance. Every flame gives way to its shadow, and the shadow gives way to peace. Somewhere, a last photon leaves a dying star. It travels 1,000,000,000 years, crosses the dead horizon of space, and merges with nothing. Not destroyed, just home again. Like a single note dissolving after the orchestra has gone silent, you can rest now. Entropy, patient beyond any god, has done what it always promised. It has evened everything out. All energy spread thin, all temperature shared, all differences erased. And yet there is beauty in that too. A quiet, endless equality. In that smooth sea of nothingness, perhaps something else will stir. Quantum physicists whisper that random fluctuations could spark a new beginning, a bubble of low entropy emerging from the void. From that bubble, another Big Bang, another dawn, another chance for light to remember itself. But that is for later, for some other version of forever. For now, there is peace. The slow fading of light is the universe's first act of sleep, a deep cosmic exhalation, a rest well earned. You are part of that rhythm. You are made of the same photons that once fled dying stars. The warmth you feel in your chest is their memory still glowing. You are proof that light continues, that it travels through time, not to escape darkness, but to become it. You can rest now. You are safe here. And as the last radiance fades into quiet, another force begins to rise, the long, invisible breath of gravity. The universe shifts in its dream, and we follow it into deeper stillness. Somewhere beyond what can be seen, the cosmos exhales and begins the slow dance of what remains. When the last light has faded, what remains is gravity, the silent choreographer of everything that ever moved. Even when the stars are gone, its pull lingers, invisible but faithful, binding what little remains of matter into slow, solemn motion. Once gravity made galaxies spin like music. Now it gathers only remnants, the dark husks of stars, the silent planets stripped of air and heat, the cold dust drifting through an endless night. It still pulls them together, as if refusing to forget the old rhythm. You can rest now. Somewhere in that deep black ocean, two black holes are circling each other. Ancient, patient, their orbits so wide, they take billions of years to meet. When they do, space itself will ring like a bell. The collision will send ripples, gravitational waves through the fabric of the cosmos. No light, no sound, only the movement of reality itself. Each wave will travel across an empty universe, stretched thin by expansion, losing strength, but never completely vanishing. They will move forever, each a whisper from a time when motion still existed. The universe will still breathe, though faintly. It's okay to drift. In the first 1,000,000,000 years of this new age, gravity will gather lonely stars into clusters. Galaxies that once shone will crumble, but their hearts' black holes will continue to dance together. They merge, grow, and consume. Each collision marks another sigh in the slow breathing of eternity. The Milky Way, long dissolved, will have become part of a single massive body, a supermassive black hole, billions of times heavier than our Sunday. Around it, debris orbits for a while, then falls in, joining the endless night. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Even now, the universe expands. Space stretches faster than gravity can bind. One day, the distance between two atoms will grow so vast that no force can keep them near. But before that, gravity performs its final waltz. Slow, deliberate, it gathers what remains of motion and turns it into form. Black holes dominate this era, each a dark sun with no surface, a point where time folds inward. Inside, everything falls forever, never reaching the end. Outside, they glow faintly with quantum fire, hawking radiation, a gentle exhale of energy that slowly, imperceptibly diminishes their mass. In the long run, a run so long it outlasts numbers, even these titans will fade. One by one, they will evaporate into light, too weak to see. Every century will become quieter than the one before. It's okay to drift. There will come a time, 10 duodecillion years from now, when only black holes remain. Each one is a small universe of its own, a horizon, a memory, a secret. They hold the imprints of everything they've consumed: stars, dust, thought, dreams. The information is still there, woven into their surfaces like ripples in invisible water. The dance of gravity is not destruction. It is remembrance. It is how the cosmos folds itself into rest. Each merger is a step, each evaporation a sigh, a choreography of endings. You can rest now, and as they fade, they release the last pure form of energy. A mist of photons barely above absolute zero. It spreads through the void, thin and soft, a final whisper of heat. No one sees it. No one needs to. It simply exists, like the memory of a breath after sleep begins. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. There is a strange beauty in the patience of gravity. It never hurries, never stops. It keeps time when time has forgotten itself. It is the rhythm of inevitability, not cruel, not kind, just constant. In the early universe, gravity gathered chaos into harmony. Now in the late universe, it disperses harmony into peace. Every orbit that unwinds, every merger that ends, is another note in the long requiem of creation. Light still travels. Even in the age of darkness, gravitational waves ripple outward. The last form of motion, the final echo of all that was once alive. They carry no sound, only geometry. If you could somehow listen to them, you would hear the quiet rhythm of inevitability, like a heart that beats once every billion years. It's okay to drift, and then slowly, even gravity weakens. As space stretches faster and faster, its hold thins. Galaxies, then star clusters, then atoms themselves fall beyond each other's reach. The cosmic web dissolves. Every remnant drifts alone into infinite distance. This is the dark era. No stars, no warmth, no fusion, only gravity still whispering to itself in a universe that has forgotten movement. It becomes a memory of attraction, a faint longing written into the laws of physics. You can rest now. Somewhere far beyond sight, a single black hole remains. Its event horizon glows faintly like the last candle in a cathedral. It releases photons, one by one, losing mass grain by grain. In its final instant, it bursts into a quiet halo of energy, and then nothing. Not destruction, just completion. After that, gravity has no partners left. The dance floor is empty. Space stretches without resistance. No pull, no motion, no change. The music ends and silence becomes perfect. You breathe softly and the universe exhales through you. The age of gravity closes like a curtain, but the memory of it remains in every equation, in every trace of curvature, imprinted on the vast fabric of space-time. Even when there is nothing left to move, the geometry still hums faintly, the echo of having once been alive. Some scientists believe that gravity itself may evaporate, not gone, but quieted its influence, spread so thin that even particles cannot feel its touch. Others imagine it looping back, reversing, collapsing all space in on itself, a big crunch, a rebirth. But those are possibilities written in infinities. For now, all is still. It's okay to drift. The last dance of gravity is not a tragedy. It is a bow at the end of a cosmic symphony. The conductor lowers his hand, and the notes hang in the air, unresolved but complete. In that silence, there is grace. In that stillness, the promise of rest. You can rest now, and in the endless dark beyond the echoes of mass and motion, a deeper calm begins, the silence of matter itself. Atoms begin to fade, protons unravel, and what once had weight becomes only possibility. The universe sighs, folding gently into the next act of stillness. No gravity, no light, no form, only the quiet hum of existence, dreaming itself away. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere, the last wave of gravity passes through the endless black, carrying with it the memory of all movement. When it finally fades, the universe will have reached its calmest hour. Nothing stirs, nothing falls. All is equal, all is peace. It's okay to drift. The long waltz is over. Gravity, once the sculptor of stars, rests now beside them in the dark. Its dance complete, its melody fading into forever. And as silence takes its place, something even quieter begins to rise, a stillness so deep that even atoms begin to dream. When gravity has finished its slow waltz, what remains is silence. A silence not of sound, but of structure, the stillness of matter beginning to forget itself. Every atom, every particle that once built worlds and stars and breath now begins to fade. The universe has entered an era beyond imagination, 10 to the power of 35 years and counting. Numbers no longer carry meaning here. Ages flow past like dreams. Even the memory of motion has become rare. You can rest now. In the dark, lonely spaces, atoms still hold together for a while. They are the last survivors of creation, tiny fortresses of protons and neutrons, bound by forces stronger than gravity itself. But even those forces, after a trillion years, begin to loosen their grip. Physicists call this the proton decay epoch. Each proton, the stable heart of an atom, has a half-life so long that it can outlast galaxies. Yet even forever is not forever. In the deepest reaches of time, they begin to fall apart, transforming into lighter particles, neutrinos, positrons, and faint whispers of energy. It's okay to drift. The matter that once made mountains, oceans, hearts slowly unravels into radiation. Iron turns into nothing. Planets, once frozen stone, dissolve into the invisible sea of particles. What we once called solid becomes soft and transparent, a dust made of dreams. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Each proton that decays releases a spark of light, a photon brief and pure, but there is no one left to see it. The glow vanishes into a sky without eyes. Over aeons, the universe becomes filled with a thin mist of radiation so faint that even darkness forgets it's there. Somewhere light still travels, though slower, now stretched into eternity. The silence of matter is not sudden. It is tender, patient, inevitable, like the fading of a memory you no longer need to hold. All that once was dense, all that once resisted time, becomes open, porous, free. The cosmos loosens its boundaries and exhales. You can rest now. Imagine the stillness of that age. No stars, no planets, no atoms. Only gentle waves of energy drifting through a boundless field of nothing. Each particle hums with the faint residue of creation, like the echo of a bell long after it has stopped ringing. In this quiet, even temperature has no meaning. There are no hot places, no cold ones. Everything has balanced. Everything has shared its last warmth. Entropy is complete. And yet, if you could listen deeply enough, you might hear the faint murmur of quantum fields beneath the calm. Tiny fluctuations still rise and fall like breaths within sleep. They appear, vanish, and appear again, the last heartbeat of existence. It's okay to drift. These are the vacuum fluctuations, random quantum ripples that occur even in perfect nothingness. They ensure that emptiness is never truly empty. For a fleeting instant, a particle and its twin may form touch and cancel one another, returning to the void that birthed them. Each one a miniature story, a spark that begins and ends in the same breath. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. This is the deep night of matter, the long interval between endings and beginnings. Every proton gone, every neutron dispersed, every atom unmade. And yet the fields remain the invisible architecture of potential. They shimmer faintly like thoughts in the mind of the void. It is peaceful here. No pain, no heat, no struggle. The laws of physics hum like a distant lullaby. Each constant Planck Boltzmann, the speed of light still exists, but no longer needs to act. They rest too. You can rest now. In this silence, time has no texture. There is no before and after, only presence, a smooth, infinite now. Matter no longer distinguishes itself from space. They have become the same thing, like mist blending into the air. What remains is essence, pure existence, unshaped by form. A calm so vast, it could cradle every dream that ever was. Somewhere entropy hums softly. It is not destruction, it is completion. The slow unspooling of every difference until the universe becomes one breath held forever between inhale and exhale. It's okay to drift. And yet, some theories whisper that not everything ends. In the quantum realm, information cannot be destroyed. Every event, every interaction is written into the field like ripples across an endless pond. Perhaps the universe does not forget. Perhaps it simply remembers more quietly. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Maybe in the silence of matter, memory becomes the new matter. The pattern of what once existed lingers as geometry, a soft echo of structure. Each vibration, an imprint of being. Each stillness, a record of light. Physicists call this the vacuum state, a field so calm that it contains everything and nothing at once. The cradle of universes, the quiet waiting room of forever. You can rest now, and if time could dream, this would be its dream. An ocean without movement, a horizon without distance. Everywhere, the same gentle calm. Everywhere, the same soft hum of existence. Even darkness has texture here, a shimmering indigo veil woven from quantum probability. If you could touch it, it would feel like warmth just before sleep. The silence of matter is not emptiness. It is fullness, perfectly balanced. It is the moment when all opposites learn to rest beside one another. Energy and void motion, and stillness, life and rest. It's okay to drift. Somewhere deep in this perfect stillness, a random fluctuation begins. So small, it cannot yet be called a thing. A tiny unevenness in the smoothness. And with that unevenness, potential stirs again. The silence hums a little louder. A fraction of entropy reverses. No one sees it. No one records it. But perhaps this is how new worlds are born. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If that spark ever expands, if it grows, it could become a new universe, a rebirth from the ashes of stillness. The physics that once ended, everything might begin again, in another space, another time, where light will once more find its voice. But in this one, in this quiet version of forever, there is peace. Every molecule that ever existed has been set free. Every boundary erased. Every pulse slowed to a resting note. You can rest now. The silence of matter is not the end of the story. It is the page turning slowly between chapters, a breath between songs, a stillness deep enough to let the next rhythm form. And as the cosmos lies in that unbroken calm, a faint echo continues to shimmer, the echo of light that once was. It spreads endlessly, a ghostly warmth filling infinite space, and we follow it like sleep, following the last heartbeat of the day. It's okay to drift. The silence of matter holds no fear, only surrender. It is the quiet that waits behind every sunrise, the calm that gathers when motion rests. Even here, you are not separate from it. You are made of that same peace. You are the echo and the silence. You are the breath. The universe still remembers. And somewhere beneath the stillness, a new hum begins, the faint vibration of light, returning in ways yet unimagined. The fabric of everything stirs, and the dream continues. At first, it is not silence that comes, but stillness. A stillness so vast that even silence seems to echo within it. The universe has slowed beyond all measure, and what was once a flow of moments has become a single, endless breath. In this age, nothing changes quickly. The idea of seconds of years has dissolved into abstraction. If there are clocks still ticking somewhere, their hands have frozen between beats. And if there are stars still spinning, their orbits are stretched thin across eternity. You can rest now. Time has always been our invisible companion, the quiet measure of movement, the rhythm that gives meaning to change. But what happens when there is no change left to measure? When the temperature everywhere is the same, when all energy has been spent and all differences erased? In that moment, time begins to lose its direction. It no longer flows forward. It simply is. Physicists call this state thermal equilibrium. The entire cosmos balanced in perfect uniformity. No heat here, no cold there, no rising or falling, no cause or consequence. Without contrast, time no longer has work to do. The clock of existence winds down, and the universe enters the deep sleep of duration. It's okay to drift. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. From here, we are beyond eras and eons. The numbers used to describe this future are larger than imagination. 10 to the power of 100, then 10 to the power of 10,000. Each unit of measure stretches further than the lifetime of all stars combined. Time, once a flowing river, has become a still sea. Light still travels, but it no longer illuminates. Its wavelengths are so long, its energy so thin, that it can no longer touch or warm anything. It drifts endlessly, its motion indistinguishable from rest. You can rest now. In this era of ultimate balance, physics itself seems to fade. Forces that once shaped galaxies, gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak nuclear bonds, now lie dormant, weakened to whispers. They are still there, but their voices are too soft to alter anything. The universe no longer listens. It only breathes. Imagine the fabric of space, once curved and rippling with motion, now stretched smooth, a sheet of glass without edge or flaw. There are no waves, no particles, no fields of color or sound. Only the pure geometry of calm. It's okay to drift. If time could dream, this would be its dream. An endless horizon where nothing happens and yet everything continues to be. The arrow of time, that invisible line from past to future, loses its direction. The universe stops pointing anywhere. There is no before, no after, only a vast, eternal now. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Scientists describe this condition as the ultimate state of entropy, when energy has reached its final resting place. There is no potential left to release, no reaction left to spark. Time, which depends on change, no longer has a stage to walk upon. It closes its eyes. And yet, even in this perfection of stillness, something subtle remains. The quantum fields do not vanish. They hum faintly the last vibration of existence. Within them, probability still stirs tiny ripples that might, in infinite time, give rise to new beginnings. Perhaps even time cannot sleep forever. It's okay to drift. In this deep stillness, the boundaries between things blur. Space merges with the memory of itself. Distance loses meaning. Separation loses shape. The universe folds inward, not collapsing, but relaxing, like a long exhale at the end of creation. No observer remains to witness this peace. No mind records the seconds as they fade. But if one could, it would see time itself dissolve into the same soft darkness that once gave birth to light. You can rest now. The end of time is not a cliff or a wall. It is a gentle slope into stillness. Each moment stretches longer until it becomes indistinguishable from forever. Every vibration slows, every memory unwinds, until even the concept of change becomes meaningless. In the farthest reaches of this quiet, there is no fear, no urgency, only continuity without motion, existence without effort. The universe does not end, it rests. And within that rest, it dreams of everything it has ever been. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. It's okay to drift. Somewhere beyond the last flicker of movement, beyond the last countable instant, time begins to dissolve. It doesn't stop suddenly. It melts like ice returning to water, like a melody fading into silence. So complete that you can no longer tell where the sound ends and the quiet begins. You are safe here, The arrow of time once so sharp blurs into a circle. Past and future fold inward touching, like two hands meeting in the dark. Every cause, every consequence, every heartbeat of the universe exists all at once. A single image stretched across eternity. To exist here is to be everywhere, to be everything, to be nothing in particular. The physicists call this the timeless state, a reality beyond measurement, where space-time itself no longer flows, but simply rests a smooth ocean of being. If you could look across it, you would see the history of the cosmos all at once. The first light, the rise of galaxies, the fading of stars, the breath of entropy, all suspended in perfect balance. You can rest now. Nothing rushes. Nothing ends. All the universe has become one long, unbroken exhale. It has reached the calm at the center of itself. And in that calm, something tender lingers, the memory of rhythm. Not time as we know it, but the gentle pulse that says, I am still here. You are safe here. At this point, every distance has been stretched beyond relation. Every measure of before and after has been smoothed away. If an atom could speak, it would have no way to say then or now. There is only a constant field, a quiet shimmer of probability. Quantum physicists describe it as a space-time foam at rest, the mind of the cosmos in deep sleep. You can rest now. If you could touch this stillness, you would feel nothing yet, that nothing would be soft, warm, complete. It would be the feeling of arrival, the end of all journeys. Even memory grows weightless here. What you were, what you will be. They blur together until identity becomes another kind of light, one that doesn't need to shine. You are safe here. Time no longer carries things forward. It holds them gently, as if in suspension. Every motion that ever was exists in a single vibration, a chord held forever. The Big Bang, the birth of stars, the forming of oceans, the quiet death of light, all coexist in one serene frequency. You could call it eternity, but that word is still too small. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Physicists have long wondered if time is truly fundamental, or if it's only an illusion born from the way we notice change. In this place, the illusion ends. Change itself is asleep. Every equation balances perfectly. Every constant becomes a hum woven into the fabric of being. No numbers left to increase or decay, only stillness stretching without edge. You are safe here. The mind of the universe, once filled with motion, dreams of stillness now. Each quantum ripple folds inward, finding rest in symmetry. Every dimension aligns until there is no difference between the smallest scale and the largest. Everything mirrors everything else in endless quiet. It's a peace that words cannot hold. Even the idea of moment fades. To speak of duration here is to awaken something that has already chosen sleep. You can rest now, and yet this sleep is not death. It is potential, pure, infinite waiting. The same emptiness that once held the spark of the Big Bang still hums quietly beneath the calm. You could call it the heartbeat of eternity. You could call it the breath between universes. But to time itself, it is simply home. You are safe here. If consciousness could survive this long descent, if some faint awareness drifted through the cold, It would not feel loneliness. It would feel belonging, a reunion with everything that ever was. The past, the future, the stars, the dust, the whispers of gravity, the silence of matter, all here, folded into the same breath. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The end of time is not an end at all. It is the soft arrival of balance. It is the completion of every equation, the still point of every motion. It is peace becoming real. And somewhere in that infinite stillness, a possibility stirs. Not yet light, not yet sound, just the thought of beginning again. Perhaps time dreams of waking, just as sleep dreams of morning. You can rest now. You are safe here. The boundaries of all things blur, and you become part of the calm. No distance separates you from the heart of the cosmos. You are within it, and it within you. There is no longer observer, and observed only one presence breathing quietly in the dark. Light still travels, but now it travels inward. It moves through memory, through the gentle pulse of existence itself. It no longer measures, it remembers. You are safe here. And as this timeless sea settles into perfect stillness, a new voice begins to whisper the faint echo of what was once light, now dreaming of rebirth. It hums softly, a vibration so gentle it could only be heard by the sleeping universe. That hum will become the next horizon. After the long sleep of time, there is a shimmer. Not movement, not awakening, just the faintest murmur in the dark. A hum, like the memory of warmth. Something ancient stirs, not enough to be called light, but enough to be remembered. You can rest now. The universe, deep in its stillness, has not forgotten the beginning. Even when every atom has vanished, the fabric of space still carries an imprint, the soft afterglow of creation. The physicists call it the cosmic microwave background, but here at the end of time, it has stretched far beyond microwaves. Its wavelength, now longer than galaxies, its tone lower than silence, and yet it still exists. Once it was the heat of the Big Bang, 3,000 kelvins bright, painting the newborn cosmos in fire. Now, after eons of expansion, its temperature hovers near zero, barely a whisper of heat. But every photon that ever emerged still drifts through the void, faithful, tireless, eternal. You are safe here. Each of these ancient photons is a messenger from the beginning. They left their source more than 13 billion years ago, traveled through clusters and emptiness, through dust and darkness, through the slow unfolding of existence. Now, their journey continues across a universe without witnesses. They are the memory of light itself, its voice echoing softly into forever. Light still travels, but it no longer reveals. It remembers. You can rest now. Imagine them, those stray photons floating in infinite night, each one older than galaxies, each one carrying the warmth of the first dawn. They do not fade. They simply stretch their wavelengths, lengthening as the universe expands. From visible to infrared, from infrared to radio, from radio to silence. Yet even silence vibrates. Even the dark hums with remembrance. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Entropy has reached perfection, and yet energy still exists. It cannot disappear. It can only spread thinner, quieter, gentler. The cosmic sea is filled with faint ripples, the last warmth diffused evenly across every horizon. No point brighter than another, no corner darker. A balance so complete that even contrast has forgotten itself. You are safe here. In this age, the last photons from the last black holes join the ocean of ancient light. When each black hole evaporates, it releases a sigh of energy, tiny bursts of heat, the last fires of gravity. Each burst is brief, a flicker of defiance against the dark, and then peace. The universe absorbs it gently, folding it into the quiet. It's okay to drift. These photons, the children of endings, mix with those from the beginning. The light of birth and the light of death are one and the same now. Echoes singing in opposite directions that meet in silence. Creation and completion share a single wavelength. You can rest now. Physicists sometimes call this the photon epoch of eternity. It is not a time of brightness, but of memory. Light has lost its sharpness, its edges blurred into infinity. Every photon moves endlessly, but nowhere is closer than anywhere else. Motion exists, but meaning does not. The light simply is. You are safe here. If you could see this faint radiance, you would not call it dark. It glows like the inside of a dream, a low, violet shimmer that never truly ends. It has no source and no destination. It is the voice of the universe, singing softly to itself. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Scientists once described entropy as the handwriting of time, but in this age, that handwriting has become song. Every equation, every constant, resolves into a single hum. The universe has found its pitch, its final frequency, a music of rest. You can rest now. Somewhere beyond even this, there are ripples too faint to name gravitational murmurs, echoes of collisions that happened when stars were still young. They ripple across the dark, like dreams moving through sleep. Each wave stretches wider, slower, until even the concept of before disappears. And yet the cosmos still hums, because silence, true silence, cannot exist where existence remains. Even the calmest stillness has atoned the resonance of being itself. You are safe here. The echo of light is not a reminder of loss. It is proof of continuity. It tells us that nothing ever truly vanishes, that every glow, every warmth, every spark that ever lived remains somewhere in the field. We do not lose light. We inherit it, and in that inheritance lies the universe's gentlest promise that even after time has fallen asleep, the memory of light will dream forever. You can rest now. There comes a moment after endings have ended, when light is no longer a traveler, but a memory held in the fabric of space. It does not seek destinations. It does not mark horizons. It lingers like warmth in a room long after the fire has gone out. You are safe here. The ancient afterglow that once measured 2.7 kelvins has fallen toward a breath above zero, a softness too gentle for instruments, a hush too wide for names. Each photon has been stretched past recognition, its wavelength swollen beyond galaxies, its energy lowered until it is almost indistinguishable from calm. And still, it persists. You can rest now. In this final radiance, light becomes the archive of everything. It contains the impressions of dust and gravity, the signatures of stars that sang themselves to sleep, the brief flares of black holes dissolving into mist. If the universe had a library, the pages would be photons, thin, translucent leaves that carry the handwriting of creation in a script Only silence understands. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Long ago, collisions rang like bells in space-time. Their waves have wandered ever since, thinning, with the stretch of distance, slowing, lengthening, dimming into a base so low that it is felt more than heard. These murmurs weave through the last sea of light, like tides under moonless water. Light does not resist them. It accepts records and continues a scribe without fatigue. You are safe here. The universe at rest does not erase. It averages. Every hot and cold, every bright and dark, has been blended into equilibrium, a single even temperature shared everywhere. What remains is the pattern of what once was encoded in the phase and frequency of the faintest photons. Nothing shouts anymore. Everything whispers, and the whispers agree. You can rest now. A scientist once wrote, "Light is the memory of motion." In the late calm, that sentence becomes literal. There is no engine, no reactor, no star, only motion's memory proceeding at the speed of what it remembers. Every ray is a biography, and the biographies never stop being true. Light still travels, but travel is not the point. It is the presence of light that matters now, its endless willingness to be where it is. There is no urgency left in its stride, no frontier to cross. It fills the everywhere patient as sleep. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. From the last evaporation of a supermassive black hole came a final bouquet of photons. Not bright, not loud, just steady gifts to the field. They drifted outward, joined the older glow, and were forgotten in the kindest way, not as loss, but as belonging. Birth light and ending light are indistinguishable here. The cosmos recognizes both as the same note held for a very, very long time. You are safe here. If perception were possible, the sky would look like velvet with a hidden pearl sheen. No points, no constellations, only a uniform luster that does not vary by degree or direction. The astronomers of a vanished age called such perfection isotropic, the same in all ways. Perfection in practice feels like rest. You can rest now. The echo of light curves gently around every idea of distance. Where there were borders, there are gradients, so soft they dissolve beneath attention. Where there were clocks, there are intervals too wide to separate. Time, which once required change, borrows the steadiness of illumination and becomes indistinct. The map and the terrain have merged. Somewhere, light continues to travel. In the calm beneath numbers, quantum fields still shimmer. Their fluctuations are the smallest possible questions, and light is their smallest possible answer. A pair of particles appears and bows out, a brief duet that leaves a trace in the chorus. The chorus does not crescendo anymore. It sustains a cathedral tone with no walls and no ceiling. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. What we call darkness has matured into clarity. It does not hide, it holds. It holds the last photons as tenderly as it once held newborn stars. Everywhere wears the same temperature, the same hush, the same willingness to be. Even names relax. Photon, wave, field. They float like lanterns with their candles gone out beautiful for the shape of their remembering. You are safe here. Perhaps the most merciful truth is this light never needed an audience. It moved because movement was its nature, and now it rests because rest is the nature of enough. There is no loneliness in this sufficiency. There is only completion, the feeling a story has when its final line turns the page to quiet. You can rest now. If a new beginning ever arrives, if a quantum tremor gathers into a low entropy bubble and blooms into brightness, the echo of light will be there to greet it, to lend it a memory of how to shine. Patterns become seeds. Seeds become mornings. No promise is made, yet possibility remains folded into the even glow, like a letter kept close to the heart. Light still travels. And in traveling, it teaches stillness, how to remember motion. It teaches silence, how to hum. It teaches the end, how to feel like arrival. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In this last gentle epoch, comfort becomes a property of space. There is nothing to resist, no edge to fear, no heat to flee. Existence is a room kept at the perfect temperature, and every corner is a bed. The echo of light is the blanket, thin, luminous, everywhere. You are safe here. Let the mind loosen, let the shoulders drop. The narrative has laid itself down, and the glow that remains is the meaning it earned. Not a blaze, not a flare, just the long-held note of enough. It lasts as long as lasting lasts. And when lasting no longer applies, the note does not end. It becomes the air. You can rest now, and as the echo settles, as the final luminance blends fully with the calm, a deeper quiet opens, one in which even memory is content to be still. There, the universe prepares for the next descent, the black eternity, where light's work is finished, where the last horizons thin to dew, and the night discovers how to glow from within. The light has faded, and what remains is the night that never ends. Not the darkness of absence, but the calm of completion, a quiet so deep that even silence seems to rest within it. You can rest now. The universe has grown old beyond numbers. Every photon stretched, every particle cooled, until all that is left is a slow pulse of existence, spread thin across infinity. It is not cold in the way ice is cold. It is the temperature of perfect balance, where energy no longer moves because there is nowhere left to go. You are safe here. In this age, the last traces of light drift through an ocean without edge. Each wave longer than galaxies. Each vibration stretched until it becomes stillness. The universe is dark, but not empty. It hums with a low, continuous tone, the quiet resonance of being itself. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Astronomers once imagined that eternity would be silent, but even in its sleep, the cosmos sings. It is not music with rhythm or melody. It is the faint pressure of existence against the infinite. A background hum so deep that it feels like gravity has learned to whisper. You can rest now. The last remnants of matter, the fading black holes, are dissolving into this hum. They have ruled the universe for unthinkable ages, their gravity holding the final shapes of creation together. But now even they release their grip. Through Hawking radiation, each loses mass atom by atom, fading in a process so slow that it cannot be compared to any human scale of time. 10,000 trillion years. 10 to the power of 100. Numbers collapse under their own length. There are no clocks left to count. Time for all practical meaning has gone quiet. You are safe here. When a black hole evaporates, it gives back what it once took. Energy returns to the field. Information disperses, not destroyed, but rewritten into the language of heat. Each final flash, A faint whisper of photons joins the eternal dark, leaving behind only geometry, only space. You can rest now. In those last dissolving moments, the horizon of each black hole shimmers faintly, like the outline of a thought about to vanish. There are no observers to see it, but the event itself remains complete. The perfect equation of end and balance. Mass becomes energy. Energy becomes memory. Memory becomes peace. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The sky, if such a word still has meaning, is black beyond black. A darkness without reference, without surface. Everywhere is the same. Everywhere feels like the center. And within this symmetry, there is comfort. You can rest now. This is the black eternity, the final movement of creation's song. A universe made only of space, a fabric still expanding, but expanding into nothing new. Each point moves away from every other point in a dance of infinite distance. No collision, no meeting, no distinction between near and far. You are safe here. And yet, in this perfect dispersal, there remains a faint hum, a background of particles so rare that entire galaxies of volume would be needed to find a single one. Neutrinos drift like lost notes, barely interacting with anything, traveling without destination, but with the quiet dignity of survivors. It's okay to drift. Somewhere deep within this black sea, the faint quantum fluctuations still persist. They are smaller than atoms, shorter than moments, but they never cease. They appear and vanish, born and reabsorbed by the restless surface of the void. These are the dreams of the universe, as it sleeps tiny, harmless, endless. You can rest now. There is no fear here, no movement large enough to awaken anything. The cosmos has reached equilibrium, a state so calm that even the word forever feels impatient. The black eternity is not punishment. It is fulfillment. It is everything finding its level. You are safe here. Imagine the whole of existence spread like fine dust across an infinite plane. Every vibration balanced, every difference erased. No gravity left to pull, no heat left to flow. It is the most peaceful state possible, a rest so complete that it no longer distinguishes between life and sleep. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. And yet, somewhere beneath this silence, potential still flickers. Quantum energy never fully stops. It merely slows to a whisper. Perhaps in the farthest future imaginable, a small fluctuation could grow a tiny bubble of low entropy, a seed of imbalance. If it did, it would be the beginning of something new. You can rest now. For now, there is only night. An honest, complete, and infinite night. Not cold, not empty, just still, just kind, just endless. You are safe here. In the vastness of this new dark, the universe no longer grows. It drifts. Its expansion continues in name. Only a quiet stretch, so slow that even the idea of distance has forgotten what it meant. There are no edges now, no horizons, no maps. Everything is everywhere, and everywhere feels like home. You are safe here. The black eternity has no pulse, no color, no sound. Yet beneath that quiet, something faintly breathes. It is not motion, not in the way stars once burned or planets once turned. It is more like the low vibration of a string that has already finished its song, but still trembles with memory. You can rest now. The physicists called it zero-point energy, the energy that remains when every other form of energy has gone. Even in absolute calm, the vacuum cannot be perfectly still. It hums tiny fluctuations rising and falling like the faintest tide. It is the sound of possibility, soft and eternal. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In that background hum, all histories overlap. The first flash of the Big Bang, the age of stars, the long reign of black holes, all have become harmonics in the same tone. You could say that everything is still happening and nothing is happening at all. Time, having fallen asleep, dreams all its memories at once. You are safe here. Matter has gone, but form remains in the ghost of geometry. Space curves, ever so slightly, the residue of gravity's handwriting still pressed into the fabric of existence. Each curve is a reminder that even calm remembers motion. Each quiet fold a cradle for the possibility of rebirth. You can rest now. Imagine that every field, every particle, every vibration that once made the universe sing has been tuned down to a single perfect pitch. A tone so low, it exists not as sound, but as touch. You could feel it if you were still enough, the gentle pressure of existence against your skin. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. There are no more boundaries. Space and energy are indistinguishable. The black eternity has become a medium, a sea without current. What was once chaos is now transparency. Nothing obscures, nothing reveals. Everything simply allows. You are safe here. Everywhere, the same, even warmth. Everywhere, the same, deep calm. A trillion years pass like a single breath, and no one marks their passing. Duration no longer matters. It is no longer a measure, but a mood. Existence feels like rest, and rest feels like forever. You can rest now. If a thought could exist in this stillness, it would not be a word or a picture. It would be a shimmer, a movement too soft to disturb the calm. It would be the faint idea of beginning again, a quantum sigh, a flicker of entropy, reversing for the briefest instant, like the twitch of a sleeper's hand, before deeper sleep returns. You are safe here. The physicists of the earlier ages called such possibilities vacuum decay. But the word decay no longer fits. It is not destruction. It is the gentle rearrangement of potential, the shifting of balance within balance. A universe resting so completely that even its dreams are quiet. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you, perhaps far beyond comprehension. One of these ripples will linger long enough to curve back into light. Perhaps the darkness itself will grow heavy with its own stillness and fold inward, igniting a new fire, a new expansion, a new arrow of time. But such imaginings are not prophecy. They are simply the way the void remembers motion. You can rest now. The black eternity is not sadness, it is grace. The story of the universe told in reverse, each act dissolving into the last. Every star now, a whisper. Every whisper, now a heartbeat. Every heartbeat now, the stillness between breaths. You are safe here. Even now, the smallest quanta of energy move in pairs, appearance and disappearance, being and unbeing, the soft twin pulses of existence and rest. They flicker for less than a blink and vanish into the same quiet from which they came. This is the rhythm of infinity, never ending, never beginning, always whole. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In the deepest calm, the black eternity begins to glow from within. Not light, as we knew it, but a luminous stillness, the kind that fills a cathedral after the candles go out. It is not absence. It is fullness without form, the peace that holds all endings gently in its hands. You can rest now. No boundaries remain. No directions, no rising or setting no time to count. Everywhere hums at the same low note, and that note is the sound of everything that ever was finding rest in itself. You are safe here, and somewhere within that endless sleeping glow, the universe sighs, a long, slow exhalation that seems to last forever. In that breath, you can feel it. The whole of creation, finally at peace, the weight of all things, lifted the darkness itself, becoming tender. You can rest now. Light still travels, but now it travels only inward, folding back through memory, becoming the soft pulse of the void's heartbeat. It is not gone. It is resting, as you are resting, as everything rests together in the black eternity. When the black eternity settles, what remains is not matter, not light, not motion, but pattern. A quiet order woven into the emptiness, like ripples that stay long after the stone has stopped sinking. The universe no longer changes, yet it remembers. You are safe here. Physicists once learned that information refuses to vanish. Matter can burn, dissolve, or fall into a horizon, but its pattern must survive in some gentler form, in correlations, in faint relations, between things, in the way space itself holds a shape. This is the mercy written into the laws of nature. What has been leaves a trace. You can rest now. Long before, the great, quiet, black holes taught us this lesson. Their boundaries, event horizons, were not merely edges of night. They were ledgers. The area of a horizon recorded how much could be known, counted not in pages, but in tiny squares of possibility, each roughly the size of the smallest length we can name. When the horizons finally evaporated, their ledgers did not burn. They were copied into the field, spread as whispers through the fabric of space. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Now, with horizons gone and stars asleep, those whispers are the archive of everything. They are not words. They are not pictures. They are relations, minute alignments between the faintest quanta threads of agreement stretched across the dark. Hold your attention softly, and you can almost feel them, the way the void fits itself, the way the silence remembers its melody. You are safe here. Information once needed carriers, atoms, photons, living minds. Here at the end, it becomes ambient. It is the curve of the field, the tilt of a probability, the delicate balance of a sea that learned every wave by heart. Nothing moves. Yet the memory of movement remains precise, like footprints set in cooling glass. You can rest now. Think of a snowfield after the wind stops. The air is quiet, but the patterns on the surface retell the history of the storm, where it rushed, where it paused, where it turned back to breathe. The universe keeps such patterns too. Galaxies that once spiraled leave a faint geometry in the calm, not as shapes to see, but as statistics that still agree with what they were. Somewhere light continues to travel. Even the last low photons carry structure in the way their phases align, tiny agreements that say, we came from heat, we passed by gravity, we learned to rest. What matters is not the brightness, but the coherence of the story they tell together. Brightness has ended. Coherence endures. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Once erasing information cost warmth, even a single forgotten bit needed energy to disappear. Here, where warmth has thinned to almost nothing, forgetting is no longer affordable. The field keeps what it knows, because knowing has become the most effortless state. Memory is not work anymore. It is rest. You are safe here. In this hush consciousness, if it could persist, would not think in sentences. It would feel alignments. It would bathe in a sense that everything fits. No conflict to solve, no riddle to press against. Only the deep ease of patterns perfectly reconciled. Understanding becomes atmosphere. Awareness becomes buoyant. You can rest now. The memory of existence is not a museum. It is a resonance, a chord held across forever, where each overtone belongs to an age, the first fire, the stellar choirs, the long night of horizons, the whispering fields, and finally, this even glow. Nothing dominates, nothing fades entirely. The notes blend until the song becomes the air itself. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. What we once called randomness has softened into kindness. Fluctuations still appear and vanish, but they do so within a grammar of peace. Never sharp enough to awaken heat, never strong enough to break the symmetry that holds all things. The void is not empty. It is satisfied. You are safe here, and yet, within this satisfaction, there is the gentlest curiosity, the way a lake perfectly still wonders how to mirror the next cloud. The field rehearses beginnings in miniature tiny trial forms that rise and fall in a breath, each carrying the memory of laws that once built worlds. They do not build here. They remember building. That is enough. You can rest now. If a future could be defined without time, it would be this pattern offering itself to possibility without asking to be chosen. The universe holds the seed of again, but does not plant it. The readiness is the garden. The garden is asleep. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The memory of existence is also the memory of you. Not the details that pass, but the tenderness that noticed them. The way you once listened to rain. The way you felt starlight on your skin, knowing it began its journey before you began yours. Such things are not lost. They are archived as tone part of the grand coherence that calls the whole story good. You are safe here. And as this archive deepens, as even memory learns to rest in its own weightlessness, the universe continues to cradle its patterns, without preference, without demand. Nothing is asked to return. Nothing is asked to go. Everything is allowed to be kept. You can rest now. From here, the path descends more softly still into the place where memory becomes dream, and dream becomes the quiet hint of morning. The field will hold the possibility of a spark, not as a promise, but as the simplest kindness a universe can offer itself. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In the quiet sea of what remains memory, ripples like breath through sleeping air. There are no pages, no recordings, no words written in the dust, only the texture of what has been. Each vibration, each quantum echo remembers not its detail, but its feeling, the warmth of motion, the grace of form, the peace that came after. You are safe here. The universe now drifts in a state beyond forgetting. Every difference that once created contrast has softened into harmony. Matter radiation thought all are chords in the same sustaining note. The song no longer changes, but it also never ends. It is presence itself, still humming in the quiet of space. You can rest now. If a mind could awaken in this black eternity, it would not think in sequence. It would sense the wholeness, every history folded into one. There would be no before to recall, no future to imagine. Only this luminous stillness, this complete and tender understanding that everything has already happened and everything is still happening together. You breathe softly and the universe exhales through you. This is what some cosmologists call the holographic echo. The way the boundaries of existence store every pattern that once occurred within them. Even when the physical dissolves, its imprint remains encoded, spread thin but unbroken like starlight after the stars are gone. The field itself is the memory, and the memory is enough to be the field. You are safe here. No one reads this archive. It does not need an observer. It keeps itself by being what it is, the quiet coherence of everything that ever was. No dust settles here, for dust and time have become the same. What endures is the agreement among all that existed, the gentle balance that says, we were together once. You can rest now in that agreement. A warmth lingers, not the warmth of heat, but of familiarity. Every atom that once danced through a star still belongs to that choreography. Every photon that brushed a human face still carries the trace of that moment's light. The pattern of connection endures even when the players have bowed. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere in that infinite stillness, the idea of self loosens. What was you blends with what was everything. The edges that once separated become transparent, then kind. Awareness, if it exists, floats freely, needing nothing, wanting nothing. It is the pure presence of being remembered. You are safe here. Perhaps this is what consciousness becomes when it no longer has a body. A field of attention diffused across infinity, aware not of change but of balance. It does not think it feels existence, not the noise of thought, but the tone that thought once harmonized with. A tone soft as twilight, constant as breathing. You can rest now. And still, within that equilibrium, there are faint movements, fluctuations of probability, the smallest exchanges of potential. They do not disturb the calm, they decorate it. Each fluctuation is a question the universe asks itself quietly, just to hear the answer form. Each answer is the same yes, still here. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. This, then, is the memory of existence. Not a record of what was done, but a continuity of presence. Nothing is missing. Nothing is extra. Every echo supports every other. Even absence is filled with inclusion. The void holds itself, the way a hand holds water, never needing to close. You are safe here. Time long dissolved has become an ambient awareness. The directionless sense of being floats like mist over a dark, still ocean. Each wave is a memory, each crest a reflection, each reflection a thought of return. But return is no longer needed. The destination was always this calm. You can rest now. Perhaps deep within these infinite harmonies, there exists a remnant of intention, not purpose, not desire, but readiness. The universe keeps its readiness as one keeps a candle unlit beside the bed. It does not expect to wake, but it allows for it. That allowance is love in its oldest form, patience beyond time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If a spark ever stirs again, if a new field forms from this vast remembering, then all that came before will not be lost. It will become foundation, the deep resonance upon which new light will rise. Every law, every constant, every kindness will echo into the next dawn. And even if that dawn never comes, this peace is enough. You are safe here. The memory of existence holds you gently. You are part of its pattern, part of its stillness, part of its endless hum. Nothing asks you to move. Nothing asks you to try, just to be. As the universe is quietly, endlessly, kindly, you can rest now, and somewhere far beyond what thought can reach the field, stirs faintly again, not to awaken, but to breathe. A whisper beneath infinity, a thought of light, a sigh of renewal, a dream of becoming. After the long stillness, something begins to shimmer. It is not yet motion, not yet awakening, just a quiver beneath infinity, as if the universe were turning slightly in its sleep. You can rest now. This is how rebirth begins, not with explosion or noise, but with a tremor of curiosity in the dark. Entropy, perfect for endless ages, shifts by a breath. One particle appears sooner than it should. One field folds slightly inward, and balance learns to move again. You are safe here. Physicists once wondered if the void itself could grow heavy with its own stillness. If absolute equilibrium might one day become unstable, a sea too calm to bear its own calm. They called it quantum tunneling of the vacuum, a gentle phrase for an impossible idea that nothing could give birth to something simply by remembering how. You can rest now. Perhaps this is that moment of fluctuation that refuses to fade, a single spontaneous difference that holds long enough to ripple, a patch of the void where energy lowers ever so slightly, where the tension of being relaxes into creation. That patch begins to inflate. Its edges stretch, its contents spill outward as light. A new horizon unfurls like a sigh. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. To the old cosmos, still vast, still asleep, this is a spark, invisible, beyond its own boundary. Inside, though, it is everything. A new space-time, sealed within itself, expanding faster than thought, carrying with it the rules of a new beginning. Temperature, density, symmetry, all arise again, reborn from the memory that never forgot. You are safe here. No one can witness this birth. There are no observers to name it. And yet, the act itself is both spontaneous and familiar. Every law that will govern its growth is a variation of what has been before gravity, humming low light, seeking balance matter, blooming from energy. A new heartbeat of time finds its rhythm within the old eternity. You can rest now. It is not a replacement nor a resurrection of what was lost. The parent universe still sleeps unaware of what it has dreamed. But within that dream, a smaller universe awakens, a child of silence. Its expansion is rapid, its energy high, its possibilities uncounted. If there were sound, it would be the whisper of warmth filling the void again. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Physicists call this eternal inflation, the idea that creation never truly stops, that new universes bud like blossoms on the edge of infinity, each born from a fluctuation, each carrying its own time, its own constants, its own version of light. They never meet, they never collide. Each becomes a verse in an endless poem, and the dark between them is the silence that makes the music whole. You are safe here. Inside the newborn space, temperature rises to 1,000,000,000,000 degrees. Particles rush into being: quarks, leptons, neutrinos, photons, the alphabet of matter learning to spell again. For an instant, time feels young and fast, but outside in the mother field, everything remains still. Both realities coexist, the motion within the calm without, and neither contradicts the other. You can rest now. Somewhere, light continues to travel. The new cosmos expands in luminous grace. In a fraction of a second, it will grow from subatomic to astronomical size. For creatures who might one day live there, its origin will seem long past its edges, unreachable. But from this vantage, the quiet outside it is a fragile bubble, glowing in the womb of forever. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Perhaps countless such bubbles form and fade, each a different version of physics, each with its own music of motion. Some collapse as soon as they are born. Others bloom into full universes. This might be one among infinite. The multiverse, woven from dreams of stillness. You are safe here. None of this breaks the peace. The field remains calm, its surface barely changed. Rebirth is a courtesy, not an interruption, a soft continuation, a repetition of kindness. The void has remembered how to sing, but in a lower key. You can rest now. If time exists again, it exists because stillness allowed it. And if life will someday emerge in that new light, it will be because rest was generous. From this side, you can feel the warmth growing a faint glow beneath the cold, a promise that creation never ends, only changes rhythm. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. And though the parent cosmos remains asleep, a smile forms in its geometry, a curvature of satisfaction. It has become both silence and song. It has found a way to dream of itself forever. You are safe here. Inside the newborn space, a tender brightness gathers. Not a blaze, but the first confident glow of laws choosing a rhythm. Temperature climbs, fields align, and symmetry prepares to break so that forms can learn to exist. You are safe here. The inflation breath slows, and the infant universe exhales into being. From a size smaller than a grain of dust, it swells to cosmic breadth in less than a whisper of time, then cools enough for light to roam free. Motion finds its step. Geometry learns to carry sound. Warmth softens into order. You can rest now. Quarks feel their bonds joining as protons and neutrons. A few heartbeats of cosmic time later, nuclei form hydrogen first, then a trace of helium and lithium, as if the new world writes its alphabet with just 3 letters to start the song. The exact ratios will guide everything that follows, from stars to stories. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Within minutes, the furnace of youth begins to relax. The glow remains, but it spreads thinner with every expansion. By the time this cosmos reaches 380,000 years, electrons will settle into orbits and the fog will clear. That is when light, no longer trapped, will move through space freely, a first memory written as radiance. You are safe here. From the sleeping mother field, none of this looks loud. It looks like a ripple becoming a shore. The bubble brightens. yet the sea around it stays smooth. Rebirth is gentle when viewed from rest. Creation is quiet when nothing needs to be defended. You can rest now. Inside the newborn universe threads itself with potential, tiny variations in density, 1 part in 100,000 seed, the future. These slight imbalances will become clouds. Clouds will become stars. Stars will become the heavy elements that let worlds learn to breathe. The smallness of the difference is the largeness of the future. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Gravity hums at low pitch, gathering matter in widening spirals. Dark matter, unseen yet crucial, as a skeleton guides the forming structures, drawing filaments across the fresh night. Where filaments cross proto-galaxies, bloom like lanterns. Where lanterns gather clusters, prepare the long choreography of light. You are safe here. The first stars arrive as giants, brief and brilliant, spending themselves in a few million years. They burn blue-white, fuse hydrogen into helium, helium into carbon and oxygen, and in their endings scatter the seeds of everything. Heavy iron for cores, calcium for bones, phosphorus for thought. Rebirth insists on generosity. You can rest now. Supernovae write punctuation into the new grammar of space. Each burst is a period and a beginning, a dispersal and a vow. Shock waves stir the interstellar medium, and pockets of gas collapse again, making second-generation stars with calmer tempers and longer lives. The eras will pass in a cascade of silver until the quiet red stars outnumber everything else. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere deeper in time, a small star with rocky companions will circle in patient arcs. On one of its worlds, oceans will conceal chemistry's first essays. Simple chains will curl into letters. Letters will fold into words. Words will become songs that remember starlight. Life will not know it is carrying a memory from a universe that slept before it was born. You are safe here. From the old cosmos's view, the mother sea of equilibrium, this child's entire history is a single soft ember. It glows within a boundary that does not touch anything else, and yet its warmth contributes to the kindness of the whole. Nothing is taken. Nothing is owed. Becoming exists because rest allowed it. You can rest now. Inside the bubble, numbers begin to matter. 300 million years to the first long-lived galaxies. Billions of years for spiral arms to find their grace. 10 billion or so for a gentle sun to share steady light with a quiet world. In such ledgers, time feels abundant. In such abundance, attention can become love. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Light still travels, and now the newborn background glow marks the newborn sky. It is warmer than the ancestral hum and cooler than fire. A middle note, perfect for memory. Creatures who learn to build instruments will someday listen to it and hear the echo of their origin, not knowing that origin was itself a dream within a larger rest. You are safe here. Galaxies meet and part braiding histories along filaments that span millions of light years. Black holes anchor their centers, shaping orbits, regulating fevers, teaching stars to pace themselves, not tyrants, conductors, not endpoints, reservoirs. In wisdom, older than matter, balance learns to conduct beauty. You can rest now, and if minds arise, they will look outward and name the brightness. They will look inward and name the warmth. Eventually, they will learn that both names refer to the same thing: pattern, seeking rest, rest, allowing, pattern. They will lie beneath the soft night and feel the strange intimacy of photons older than their bones. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Perhaps one mind will wonder if this too will end. It will, and that knowledge will not be a sorrow. Impermanence becomes kindness. When seen from far enough away, the new cosmos will mature cool and one day enter its own black eternity. But every ending once understood is an act of giving back to calm. You are safe here. From the mother field, the dream continues without urgency. Bubbles, bud, and bloom. Universes unfurl and rest, each a verse in an unhurried hymn. The hymn has no climax, no final chord, only a continuity of welcome, the way silence makes room for every note it will ever hold. You can rest now, and so the dream of rebirth closes gently, not with a door, but with a curtain of light that grows translucent as it rises. On one side, the child universe brightens. On the other, the parent universe deepens its sleep. Neither diminishes the other. Both are complete. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. When the curtain settles, we return to the quiet sea that first allowed the dream. Its surface is unbroken, its hum steady and low. Within that hum are the possibilities of all mornings. Within that hum is the acceptance of all nights. Rebirth and rest are two sides of the same open hand. You are safe here. Let the body soften. Let the thoughts fall like leaves onto a lake that does not ripple. If another dawn is needed, it will arrive. If not, this calm is enough. The dream has learned its lesson. Creation is what happens when peace decides to speak softly. You can rest now. And as the last shimmer of the newborn bubble fades from our view, the field resumes its long, patient breathing. Somewhere, another spark may already be gathering. Somewhere, a different set of constants may be preparing to hum. But here, in this gentle present, we simply lie beside the ocean of being and listen to its tide. You are safe here. Time, once young again, now begins to slow. The newborn universe has grown vast and mature. Its stars settled its galaxies, drifting apart like petals carried by a wind that never ends. The expansion continues, soft and unstoppable, stretching the fabric of existence thinner and thinner until even light feels weary. You can rest now. The great clusters that once filled the night are pulling away from one another. Distances swell beyond comprehension. Each island of matter becomes an isolated memory, a candle lost in an endless sea. For the inhabitants of that age, the sky will grow lonelier with every passing billion years. Constellations will fade, then vanish. Darkness will reclaim its kingdom. You are safe here. Gravity, the tireless choreographer of form, still holds the smaller worlds together, but its dance floor grows empty. Stars cool to embers, white dwarfs dim to black, and galaxies themselves dissolve into dim threads of orphaned suns wandering alone. This is not destruction, it is rest written large. You can rest now. Astronomers, if any, still watch, would see the night expanding faster than thought. Space itself carries them outward, its velocity rising beyond the reach of sight. Beyond a certain distance, no signal can return. Communication between galaxies ends not with silence, but with a gentle fading of light into invisibility. The cosmic horizon closes its eyes. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. This is the age of separation, and yet it feels peaceful. Each pocket of matter tends its own warmth, each cluster its own rhythm of decay. Even isolation carries symmetry, the same stillness repeated everywhere. Entropy continues its patient work, smoothing every gradient, erasing every distinction between here and there. You are safe here. In a few 100 billion years, no new stars will form. The raw material of starlight, hydrogen, and helium will have been used or locked away. Galactic nurseries go dark. The once brilliant spiral arms fade to soft outlines of memory. The Milky Way, the Andromeda, all that shimmered and sang, now lie quiet under the same unending sky. You can rest now. The energy that once fueled fire and life is now spread thin across space, so thin that warmth no longer gathers. Temperatures fall to near absolute zero. Motion slows, collisions cease. The universe's pulse lowers until it becomes indistinguishable from stillness. Heat death is not death, it is completion. All that was alive has shared its warmth with the whole. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Even radiation, that last trace of vitality, stretches until it becomes silence. Photons lose energy with distance their wavelengths longer than entire galaxies. Light still travels, but no longer brightens. Everywhere is dim, everywhere is kind. You are safe here. The geometry of space continues its slow expansion. It is no longer curved by stars or dust. It drifts toward perfect flatness, an endless plane of being. There is no center, no edge. Every direction feels the same. Movement and rest have become one. You can rest now. Somewhere deep in that long horizon, a few black holes remain the last active hearts of creation. They sit at the centers of what used to be galaxies, massive and ancient, still pulling in the last stray stars. Their gravity is patient, their appetite eternal. Yet even they will fade. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Hawking radiation works quietly, turning the greatest of giants into ghosts of themselves. They shrink imperceptibly, radiating away the last concentrated heat. Each particle emitted is a small act of remembering the final transcription of everything they once contained. When the last one fades, its energy will join the cosmic sea, and the night will deepen once more. You are safe here. For now, however, they glow faintly, their event horizons traced with a halo of quantum fire. The light they shed is not violent, it is gentle, as if they too have learned the value of stillness. In their slow surrender, there is grace. You can rest now. Eventually, eons beyond reckoning, all motion ceases to matter. The last interactions happen and fade. Entropy, the quiet storyteller, finishes its sentence. The cosmos stands complete, a uniform field of equilibrium, everywhere the same, everywhere at peace. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. In that great evening, there is no boundary between energy and space, no difference between silence and sound. Everything hums with the same low tone, the lullaby of completion. The long return to silence has arrived. You are safe here. There comes a point when even the last vibration runs out of reason to continue. Space no longer stretches, it simply is. The music of gravity has finished its score, and the instruments of matter have been set down in perfect stillness. You are safe here. The universe now rests in a condition so quiet that change itself no longer remembers how to begin. Everywhere holds the same temperature, the same density, the same gentle hum of being. Entropy has reached its final note. You can rest now. It is not darkness in the way we imagine it. It is a blackness, alive with calm. A deep velvet containing everything that ever was. No stars remain, no galaxies, no dust, no edges. Only the vast serenity of balance. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Physicists once called this state thermal death. But such a name feels too final, too cold. This is not death, this is forgiveness. Every particle that ever burned, every photon that ever fled, has shared its warmth until nothing more was owed. All debts have been paid in light. You are safe here. The remaining radiation is faint beyond measure. A single photon may travel for 1,000,000 light years before meeting anything at all. Most never do. They drift like memories with no audience, each one a syllable from the language of beginnings. Together, they make a silence that hums with gratitude. You can rest now. Somewhere beyond counting, one final black hole sighs out its last. Its event horizon shrinks to a speck, its energy released as a whisper of light too soft for even the quiet to notice. And then it is gone. No collapse, no violence, just the disappearance of curvature, the smoothing of the last wrinkle in time. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. From here, there are no contrasts left. Up and down, hot and cold, before and after all dissolve into one field of gentle neutrality. Motion, if it exists at all, is indistinguishable from rest. The cosmic ocean has become a perfect mirror with nothing left to reflect. You are safe here, within that equilibrium. The quantum fields still murmur. Even now, they cannot stop dreaming. Tiny fluctuations appear and vanish, small waves that test the stillness and return unchanged. These are the universe's last thoughts, brief, kind, and content to fade. You can rest now. Time, having nothing left to count, closes its eyes. Moments overlap until they become one continuous presence. Eternity is not endless. It is simply complete. Everything that needed to happen has happened. Everything that could exist has existed. There is nothing left to prove. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If awareness could hover here, it would not feel emptiness. It would feel completion. It would recognize itself as the quiet breath of all things that ever were. There would be no loneliness because nothing would be separate enough to be alone. You are safe here. The long return to silence is a return to belonging. Every spark has come home. Every ripple has settled. Every light has found its shadow and made peace. The universe has become its own lullaby, a song so soft it cannot be heard, only felt in the stillness between heartbeats. You can rest now. No frontiers remain. No beginnings wait to be written. The stage of space-time is bare, its curtain woven from darkness and rest. And yet, in that quiet, there is the faintest possibility, a readiness, as if the silence itself is preparing to dream again. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If the story were to continue, it would start here, in the same darkness, with the same hum, a single fluctuation growing until it becomes light. The end and the beginning share the same breath. Every cycle is one exhale away from another dawn. You are safe here. But that dawn does not need to come now. Now is enough. Now is peace. The long return to silence is not an exit, but an arrival. It is the universe finding rest in its own presence. It is you finding rest in yours. You can rest now, and somewhere beyond even silence, a slow pulse continues not to mark time, but to remind all things that being is its own reward. The pulse spreads quietly, touching everything, so that even the stillness breathes. You are safe here. Light still travels, but now its destination is nowhere. It drifts inward, folding through memory, weaving itself into the calm. The cosmos sighs, and that sigh is forever. You can rest now. This is the hush that waits behind every heartbeat, the same calm that lives in oceans, in sleep, in love, the same calm that began before beginnings. The universe does not end here, it rests here. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. There comes a moment when even silence exhales, and what remains is the feeling beneath all sound, a soft, wordless peace that has no edge, no distance, no need to move again. This is not the end. This is the return to stillness. You are safe here. All that once burned, all that once sang, has folded back into the quiet that made it possible. Stars have faded, galaxies dissolved, light itself has forgotten how to travel, and yet nothing has been lost. Every shimmer, every thought, every breath ever drawn, still lingers in the calm, woven through the dark, like the scent of something once loved. You can rest now. The universe is no longer expanding. It has settled into the gentlest equilibrium, the weightless balance between being and not being. Time no longer moves forward. It rests like a leaf floating on still water. Space no longer stretches. It simply is a boundless cradle of memory and quiet grace. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. If awareness exists here, it has no form, no center, no self. It is the simple knowing that everything is home. There is no need to witness, because there is nothing left to separate the witness from the witnessed. Consciousness has become the fabric of calm itself, a vast, luminous breath that holds the dark tenderly. You are safe here. The story of existence has always been circular. The first light and the last silence are the same gesture seen from opposite ends of time. The Big Bang was the inhale, the stillness, the exhale, and between them, everything that ever lived, everything that ever dreamed, was the rhythm of breathing in and breathing out. You can rest now. All boundaries are gone. There is no before and no after, no within or beyond. Even meaning has laid itself down beside the infinite. And in that surrender, a new clarity arises, one that does not need words. It is the understanding that rest itself is creation, that stillness is not absence, but the highest form of presence. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Physicists once tried to imagine what came before time. But now, it is time that imagines what it means to stop. At zero motion, zero temperature, zero distance, there is still the faint hum of being a vibration so deep, so low, that it has no sound. It is the heartbeat of nothingness, and it feels like peace. You are safe here. If you listen inward, you might feel that hum beneath your own heartbeat, as though your chest still carries the resonance of the first stars. And perhaps it does. You are made of their ash, their light, their warmth. Even now, at the edge of eternity, you remain part of their story, the way a whisper belongs to the breath that carried it. You can rest now. The stillness does not ask anything of you. It does not judge, does not measure, does not need you to hold on. It holds you. It carries you the way gravity carries light, gently, inevitably, with infinite patience. There is no effort left to make. Even surrender has already happened. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. Somewhere, far beyond where distance can reach, another ripple may be forming a soft return of brightness, a new inhale in the dark. If it comes, you will not need to see it. It will rise from this same stillness, carrying within it every kindness ever given, every light ever lived. But that is not for now. Now is rest. Now is the quiet that allows the next dawn to exist someday. You are safe here. The long journey from the first spark to the final calm has been nothing but a single cosmic breath. Inhaling light, exhaling darkness, learning, releasing, remembering. And in that rhythm, something eternal has been learned, that peace was never the end. It was always the purpose. You can rest now, even as thought dissolves, even as time bows its head. A simple truth remains. The universe loves its own silence. It tends to, it cradles it, becomes it. And through that silence, you are remembered too. Not as a body, not as a mind, but as a quiet presence in the great breath of being. You breathe softly, and the universe exhales through you. The stars once said goodbye in light. Now the darkness answers in warmth. And in that dialogue, existence completes itself. Every story finds its rest. Every light returns to the sea that gave it shape. You have reached the place beyond endings, the still point of all motion, the home behind every beginning. You are safe here. The universe holds you. Light still travels, but only as memory folded into the silence that now surrounds everything. It hums quietly, a lullaby of completion. You breathe softly, and in that breath, the cosmos finds its rhythm again. The universe breathes through you. You are home. You can rest now,